Right now, I'd like to move on with our program and a video from the Honorable Leslie Voltaire, the current president of Haiti, as chairman of the Transitional Presidential Council.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Leslie Voltaire, head of Haiti's Presidential Council. Our council was formed through a coalition of political parties and civil society sectors working together to return Haiti to constitutional order and prepare general elections by the end of this year. On behalf of the Presidential Council, I want to wish everyone a wonderful year in 2025. I also want to thank Dr. Ron Daniels and Reverend Jackson and the leaders of this Rainbow PUSH Forum on Haiti. Last year's Forum on Haiti's Independence Day was powerful, reaching Haitian Americans and supporters worldwide. Sadly, today in Haiti, armed gangs are still a major problem. Thousands of Haitians have been killed, and hundreds of thousands have been forced to flee their homes after violent attacks in Port-au-Prince and parts of the Artibonite Valley. Haiti is in a humanitarian crisis caused by criminals trying to destroy our democracy. We need continued support in politics, security, medicine, food, and education to help us bring stability. Together, we can fight these threats and help countless families who are struggling without necessities. But Haiti has also been in an economic crisis that has crippled its normal growth since April 1825, when the King of France imposed a ransom in exchange for the recognition of our independence. The Rainbow PUSH Coalition dedication to justice and freedom inspires us all. We are counting on all its members to support the state of Haiti's demand that France enters into a specific form of cooperation with us. It will be to restitute the amount of the ransom paid for the recognition of our independence and compensate and repair for the wrongs done to Haiti. April 17, 2025 will mark the 200th anniversary of that act, which has the continuation of the policies of slavery as an economic system. The Rainbow PUSH Coalition's dedication to justice and freedom inspires us all, and we are counting on their support and dedication to meet all the challenges facing us and achieve our goals toward a better life for all Haitians. Thank you all.
Brothers and sisters, you're not going to get this information anywhere else. This is why Rainbow PUSH is so important to you, so important to our communities. I hope you heard me earlier when I said share this with someone else. Get in contact with someone right now and let them know you're missing something. You're missing it. You're missing something at the Rainbow PUSH Coalition right now. We have another video that I'd like to share with you from Marc Morial, the president and CEO of the National Urban League.
Hi, I'm Marc Morial. I'm president of the National Urban League. I'm joining Ron Daniels, Reverend Jesse Jackson, with the support of the civil rights community and the human rights community, not only in the United States, but all over the world, to appeal to President Biden to send emergency aid to Haiti and to do it now before he leaves office. Why? Armed gangs have taken control of Haiti. And in taking control of Haiti, they're defeating the right and the desire of the Haitian people to build a democracy. This is not good news for the Western Hemisphere's first Black republic. This is not good news for our beloved Haiti. But there's something that we can do. So let's flood the White House, flood President Biden with messages on social media, with messages in the media to send emergency aid to Haiti and send it now. We must enable the right and the ability of the Haitian people to defeat these armed gangs. Long live Haiti.
Thank you, Marc Morial. Before we move any further, I want to say thank you. You've seen two young individuals flanking my left and right. They are from the Air Force Academy. They're high school cadets, Miss Martinez and Cadet Javion Baskerville. Give them a hand for joining us today, stepping into their promise and who they are. I want to introduce to you right now an individual who is walking in his purpose for this moment. He is a son of the movement. He is a brother to us all. He's a friend of God. Ladies and gentlemen, Congressman Jonathan Jackson.
Good morning, Rainbow Push. Happy New Year and all great things. To our beloved Haitian brothers and sisters, I thank you so much for coming out today. A very special thank you to the incomparable Dr. Ron Daniels for all of your great work. To Miss Monique, Clesca, thank you for coming up, for taking that long trip to be with us today. Mr. McCalla, thank you so much for coming up today. Haiti is on our minds, on our hearts, and we must keep them in our fight. We have been very visible, very vocal in the Foreign Affairs Department at the United States government. My colleague, the Honorable Sheila Shirtless McCormick, is the first Haitian American descendant to serve in the United States Congress. And let me tell you how bad things are, as if you really don't need to know about that. And let's keep California and our brothers and sisters out there in our prayers. What's going on out there is unprecedented, but I want you to see all these dots connect. We've seen the hurricanes hit Florida. We've seen them now hit North Carolina. We've seen the tornadoes. Now we see what started in the Palisades, and these embers are floating all across the valley in California. And estimates now just over $250 billion of damage in that region, and they're only 6 to 15% contained on some of those fires, and the winds are blowing even stronger. Why do I make a connection between Haiti and the California fires? Because God doesn't like ugly. You may want to do as much good for as many people as long as you can so that we will continue to be blessed. And I don't think the good Lord is that happy with many of our actions. The Palisades are now in ashes. One of the wealthiest neighborhoods in the entire world, between Malibu and Santa Monica, it has now been leveled. We need to address climate change because the same climate crisis that's happening in Malibu and in Palisades and in Beverly Hills and Hollywood is going to happen in Chicago and Haiti and New Jersey and up the coast. We have now crossed the precipice of the hottest year in recorded history in 2024. And we're just 10 days, 11 days into the new year. When we have people in the United States Congress, when you talk about bad, Congressman Clay Higgins, who walks around with the Bible on the floor. I assume it's a Bible that says Holy Bible on the cover. I haven't taken the time to open it up to see the contents of it. But when he says that these Haitians are wild, eating pigs, voodoo, nastiest country in the Western Hemisphere, cults, slapstick gangsters. Then he goes on to say, but damned if they don't feel all sophisticated now, filing charges against our president and VP. What he was specifically remarking on is what happened in Springfield, Ohio, when the Haitians said that they were, that those Haitians that had moved there, that had revitalized that town. Then he went on to say that these Haitians are part of voodoos and cults and aren't even allowed to be in here. That's one. And that's Mr. Higgins from the great state of Louisiana, where the Speaker of the House comes from. And Speaker Johnson called in Mr. Higgins and asked to have a word with him. And Mr. Higgins says, no, what did he say? Speaker Johnson says, we've had a conversation, and he has expressed concerns. The end. No apology, no second thoughts. This is the spirit that's moving around the Capitol now. When you talk about the now upcoming 47th president and Donald J. Trump, he's mirroring that same attitude across the entire cabinet. So ladies and gentlemen, we will survive this. And I thank God for the spirit of Haiti. And thank God for the president having shared in 1825, as we now go on our bicentennial 200th anniversary, it's time for us to share the history of Haiti on what happened 200 years ago. The interesting thing to me about African American history, black history, or history with blacks, when it comes to us, people want to have amnesia and forget and have no memory. But if you're going to talk about the Ukraine, they want to talk about Kiev and its history. If you want to talk about the Gulf states, they want to talk about the history. If you want to talk about the Ottoman Empire and the Byzantine Empire, they want to talk about the history. President Trump now wants to talk about the 250th anniversary, 1776 to 2026 of American history. We have to talk about the history of blacks and Haitians and African people. Now, you know the fastest way to go broke is to get robbed. If you leave here today and go home and you see your front door kicked in and all of your belongings are gone and your bank account and bank book has been now removed and someone has gone into your phone and Zelled out all of your money, you would be broke. How could Haiti provide all of the wealth for the Western world out of France and now be told that it's broke? Haiti doesn't have any money because it was robbed. And it's time for those that have robbed the Haitians to repay. And that cannot be an old conversation. It's called repair. You may not want to use the word reparations. Let's talk about what it is. Repair for what you stole. Return what you've taken. And we can't ever look past it. Talking about the new and beyond. And don't tell me there's a guy in Haiti named Barbecue that stops the United States government from going in there and setting order. Don't tell me we can't cut off the flow of United States guns going into Haiti. How does Haiti have 500,000 guns and don't have a gun manufacturer? Those are U.S. guns. U.S. guns are being sold into Haiti. I had an opportunity just the other week to meet with the ambassador to Mexico, and he shared with me that there's one gun shop in Mexico, and it's owned by the government, and it sells to the military. One gun shop. He says, but one of the problems we have in Mexico is there are 3,500 gun shops on the border between the United States and Mexico that's selling guns into Mexico. The same problem is happening with Haiti. Haiti doesn't have a gun shop. United States smugglers of arms in Florida are selling guns into Haiti to continue the chaos and the calamity and the confusion that they are now suffering through. So I am so excited about the Haitian people, their spirit. My father, Reverend Jackson, we were last there after the Haitian earthquake, where more than 300,000 people had been killed in Haiti. Thank you, Reverend Anderson. I got on long johns and everything, and it's warm in here. I'm in and out of the cold, in and out of the heat. It was below zero in D.C., and bear with me. I'm just sweating. No, I'm leaving the water. Thank you. Thank you, Bobby. Good to be back home. Next time I'm going to bring a little fan up here, Rev. But what's happened in D.C. right now is there is a spirit coming in. But I want you to know in closing, it's not going to last always. At the beginning of this week, I had the opportunity to be into the National Cathedral and witness the funeral of the great late President James Earl Carter, known as Jimmy Carter. Born 1924 died 2024. Just 100 years after Haiti had to turn over its wealth after it was held ransom. Then I couldn't help but think about it, Dad, that Reverend Martin Luther King was born in 1929. And I had a tear in my eye in the National Cathedral, thinking that Reverend Martin Luther King could still be alive today. He didn't have to die at 39 years of age. That he could have lived to have been 100 and would still be younger than Jimmy Carter today. This level of violence that is perpetrated against our leaders, we have to be on guard. And I couldn't help but think about the decency of that man that was being laid to rest, that brought us the Department of Energy. Said we need to conserve, turn down your thermostats, put on a sweater, light your fires, don't use so much gas. There's greenhouse emissions. A nuclear physicist that had gone into the White House that said he wanted peace in the Middle East, that did not kill one person over there and returned 425 people without firing a gunshot, who fought for peace his entire life, who went on for 60 years to build houses for those that have been locked out, to think of the indecency that's following those remains. But even God has a sense of humor. Because now the flags are going to be held at half-mast for 30 days because of the passing of a president. So when Mr. Donald J. Trump on January 20th resumes the presidency of the United States, that flag will be held at half-mast, and Mr. Trump is not happy about it. The Haitian people are alive and well and thriving today. And let me tell you what they did in Springfield, Ohio, to read in between the lines. Why did they say Springfield, Ohio? Why did they say Springfield? Because there are 30 states that have a Springfield town in the United States of America. So Springfield was simply a name that's common to every American in every state. So they were talking in code. So anywhere you go, there's a Springfield somewhere. So when he said they're in Ohio, he's saying they're coming to a town near you. You remember when Donald J. Trump says, my crowd is bigger than theirs, my crowd is bigger than theirs, and people were saying, oh, he's crazy. Why does he keep talking about Obama and saying my crowd is bigger than theirs? And you could see on the film that Obama's crowd was much larger than Trump's. That's not what he was really saying. He was talking in code for 2 weeks, and he had headline news. What he was saying was, there are more of them than us. Miss Clinton received 3 million more votes than me. Let's start voter suppression. It's more of them than us. And then that's when this whole wave of voter suppression laws kicked in. So be careful. Don't go for the okie doke. They're talking in code. And as we get ready to go back into Washington, it's going to be all right. Mr. Trump, whatever he promised Mr. Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, there is no Department of Government Efficiency. It doesn't have a desk. It doesn't have a badge. And as soon as they can't go to Mar-a-Lago anymore, they've got to go through protocol. They just can't walk up into the president's office. And with a man with an ego that big, he's not going to want to see the wealthiest man in the world taking over his meetings and making tweets and disrupting the House of Representatives. What he's going to find out is I don't work for Vivek Ramaswamy or for Donald J. Trump or Elon Musk. I'm a representative of the 1st District of Illinois. I am a co-equal in government to the executive branch. We don't report to the president. This is not a subsidiary of a holding company. He's going to have to go through and talk to the members of the Republican caucus that aren't going to sign off on all of his stuff. Now, let me tell you one last thing. I'm going to let you go because I want to hear Reverend Daniels. What happened the other day is we had the Laken-Riley Act that was just passed through the House. It was an unfortunate incident of a migrant that had killed, raped a young student in Georgia. And they've ended up passing a law, and so I voted against it. I got some very ugly emails and things the other day. Why did you vote against locking up and deporting migrants that are here that commit a crime? That's not what the whole article read. That's not what it said. I know you caught the Yahoo News and the Apple News clip, but let me tell you what the rest of the document said. Not only will you expel and detain those migrants that might have come here illegally to be expelled, they also said those migrants that are here on temporary protective status. It also said those persons that are here under DACA that have been made here legally. That's 1.4 million people. Those persons that are accused of a crime, not even having been convicted, will go into a detention center in a city near you. That's in the law. So anyone can be accused now and be rounded up. That's why I voted against that legislation, because it was a Trojan horse. It was a lie. I support exporting, getting people out of here that have broken the law. You can't do it. You certainly cannot kill. But these are the lies you're going to see that are coming through the Congress right now. So we're going to be in closer contact so you can get up-to-date information on what they're really doing. Now, without further ado, I'd like to ask Brother Ron Daniels to, if you will, start your program. I can't say enough of how happy I am to have called you an uncle my entire adult life, and thank you for having given me an education on Haiti and having kept the bridge alive. And I want to thank my father, Reverend Jesse Jackson. Through the sleet, the rain, the cold, he comes out. He's a fighter to the bone, to the core. Dad, I love you so much. I appreciate you. The Right Honorable Dr. Ron Daniels.
All right, thank you very much. Let's give it up for Congressman Jonathan Jackson. Let's give it up for Congressman Jonathan Jackson.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to continue our programming. We're going to have one more song as we transition the stage to our panel discussion. So please stick around. There's more to come in our celebration of Independence Day for Haiti. Give Congressman Jonathan Jackson a hand. Give Pastor Stephen Thurston a hand. And our founder, Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson. Come on, give him a hand.
There will be mountains that I will have to climb, and there will be battles that I will have to fight. But victory or defeat, it's up to me to decide. But how can I expect to win if I never try? I just can't give up now. I've come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me the road would be easy, and I don't believe he's brought me this far to leave me here. Oh, never said there wouldn't be trials, never said I wouldn't fall. Never said that everything would go the way I thought it should go. But when my back is against the wall and I feel all hope is gone, I'll just lift my head up to the sky and say, help me to be strong. I just can't give up now. I've come too far from where I started from. Oh, carried this far to leave me. Bless you.
Let's give the sister a big round of applause, please. Lord have mercy, that was good. She don't realize it's one of my 2 favorite songs, right? That's right. Come this far by faith. Let's give it up again for Congressman Jonathan Jackson. And Congressman, you know how my brain works, so with the president having spoken on this issue of reparations, and you know I'm also the convener of the National African American Reparations Commission. I work with Professor Sir Hilary Beckles with the CARICOM Reparations Commission. On that anniversary day, we are going to hold a major forum. We're going to hold them, and we need you to be a part of that. All right. So we now want, and let me just say a couple other things quickly. I have to, as a point of personal privilege, have to honor one of the great strategists, one of the great thinkers, one of the great political analysts that I have not seen in many, many years. He's now shown up today, and I'm glad to see him, Professor Robert Starks. Stand up, Professor Robert Starks. That's a bad brother. Center for Inner City Studies, Harold Washington campaign and all that good stuff. Judge, I had to give him a shout out. Now I'd like to bring to the podium for remarks someone who needs no introduction. He is of Haitian. He is Haitian, but he is African. He is all of us. All of his career, he has always been an advocate for the unity of people of African descent and struggling humanity. He's a judge, but much more than that, he is a human rights advocate. Would you please, and let me just say this in advance, he's also someone who has been pushing very hard on this idea of a Toussaint Louverture Marshall Plan for Haiti. Judge, we appreciate that. It's very much needed. Would you please welcome Judge Lionel Jean-Baptiste.
Good morning, everybody. Reverend Jackson, it's an honor to be in your presence. Thank you for giving us that shoulder to hold us up, to push, to be on the cutting edge, to be fearless. Thank you for all that you have done. And we all need to continue to grow up to be like Reverend Jesse Jackson. Because that voice in this moment of trouble right now, we know that Reverend Jesse Jackson would have been on the forefront of raising all kinds of, you know what, to make sure that our messages gets shared. I'm proud to be part of this delegation of Haitian Americans who are here to share a message with you all on the 221st anniversary of Haitian independence. 221st anniversary, people. And we understand that independence, securing the independence, we won it through 13 years of protracted war, where we defeated one of the most powerful nations in the world. We defeated, you're right, brother, it wasn't just one. France had help, but we kicked them out of the nation and declared ourselves independent on January 1st, 1804. But the independence had to be secured over a long period of time, and we continue to try to secure that independence. It's a continuing fight, because from the very beginning, when we won our independence, the whole Western world felt shaken to the core. They declared that this movement that these Africans led was encouraged, was engendered by a virus. It was a virus. What's wrong with these folks? That they were to turn the world upside down. Wasn't they inferior? Did they think that they were equal to the West? Well, when the Haitians stood up under the leadership of Boukman and said we had to shift the paradigm, we cannot allow ourselves to continue to abide by the dictates of those who promote our rape, our murder, our enslavement, that we had to understand that our God does not accept that we suffer to such an extent to enrich our enemies. And so it was a fight, and the Africans, without text, without email. They organized themselves throughout the nation. They built alliances, and they won their independence. Of course, you heard that France had to reorganize itself, and they confronted us with an armada of battleships in 1825 and demanded that we concede to them some kind of concession, reparations, for stealing ourselves back. And so it was an unfortunate moment in our history where we made a concession to pay them reparations. And so I'm glad to see our leadership today on the national level in Haiti is demanding that we repay, there's restitution of that money that we pay France, which many have valued at about $30 billion. So we await that continuing struggle to get our money back. But where we are today, brothers and sisters, and I'm sure that Mr. McCalla and Ms. Sisler will talk about other events that characterize the history of Haiti after we won our independence. And it was a fight because the whole Western world organized itself to try to push us down out of existence. But today where we are, brothers and sisters, we have to understand who are our friends and who are our enemies. Our leadership cannot continue to rely on the same enemies that have suppressed our liberation, that have sought to push us out of existence, to see we cannot rely on them to be our relief. The reality is, it is true that Haitians right now, we constitute almost 8 million folks in the United States. We've been coming here since the 1950s. So we have enough people who are paying taxes, who are ready to contribute. We have a share of that budget that should be allocated to helping Haiti rebuild. That's why we put forth the proposal for a Marshall Plan funded by some of our tax dollars. We're not asking people to give us something that doesn't belong to us. It's part of our money. We're asking for a Marshall Plan to rebuild the nation, to help us restore democracy. But beyond that we are asking Congress to do, and Reverend, we're asking at the Foreign Affairs Committee, Congressman Jackson, that there be a real push. I know that Congresswoman Sheila Sheffley McCormick is looking to introduce this bill. She said during the month of January, we need some backup. We need you to really step up and say, we must have this bill, we must push for the allocation, the appropriation of large dollars in the amount of billions of dollars to try to rebuild Haiti, because that's what it's going to take. But beyond that, Congressman, I want to put on the table the notion that Haiti has to look for allies outside of what we have right now. We have tied ourselves to the table legs of Taiwan versus building a relationship with the People's Republic of China. Everybody, Haiti is one of 13 nations that continue to recognize Taiwan versus 192 other nations that have entered into a trade relationship with the People's Republic of China. China has recognized there's a relationship with Dominican Republic where they engage in billions of dollars of trade. And Taiwan, we have some kind of relationship where there's a few millions of dollars that come through. And we refuse to move away from that kind of paradigm. We have to shift paradigm. We have to recruit other allies to make sure that we have the wherewithal to absorb what we produce, to be able to come in and help us build the infrastructures that are necessary for the nation to be rebuilt. We cannot stay tied to some kind of narrow obligation, some kind of loyalty to one nation that is, and be among 13 of 192 nations that are beholding to a nation that is not doing so much for us. We have to change the paradigm. We have to fight for something different. And don't think that Haiti is going to be allowed to do what it has to do without a fight. So the United States is going to try to stand in the way. There was a plan some 8 years ago for People's Republic to come and help rebuild Port-au-Prince. But the United States stood in the way of that. And we have to make sure that as a sovereign nation, that we make the choices that are necessary to build alliances. There's alliances with People's Republic. United States has a favorite nation relationship with People's Republic of China. The whole Latin America is engaged in that, the continent of Africa. So let's not give away possibilities that we have because we tied to some kind of limited scope as to what is possible. So yes, we want the emergency money to be released right now to help with humanitarian needs, to help defeat those gangs. But Haitian leadership, let's not be performative in terms of what we are trying to do. Let's take some action, build some different alliances, and try to move the nation forward strategically. Thank you very much.
All right, Judge Lionel John Baptiste, let's give it up for him. All right, now we want to, and we're so happy to have so many who have joined us on all the various platforms for Rainbow PUSH and the Institute of the Black World 21st Century, and our sisters and brothers in Haiti. We've been advised and informed. The forum that we did last year, it percolated. People saw it in Haiti. So we ought to be very much aware of that, and we appreciate those of you who have remained for this very important conversation. Now I'd like to bring to the podium someone who was here last year, who comes back again this year to give us an update on the crisis in Haiti and to also introduce our keynote speaker for today, who will be Monique Clesca. Would you please welcome the Senior Policy Advisor for the Haitian American Foundation for Democracy, my longtime friend and mentor. I mean, he kind of raised me up and taught me everything I know and all those good things. He's a tremendous fighter. In fact, he worked with Reverend Jesse Jackson at the National Coalition for Human Rights when they had the wet foot, dry foot policy way back, and Reverend Jackson was fighting that and moving forward. Let's give a big round of applause to Jocelyn McCalla.
Good morning, family. Good morning. Good morning. What an exciting broadcast we had earlier today. I was so happy to see so many people and see such vibrant response this morning. I really want to thank, to begin with, Reverend Jackson, whom I have had the pleasure of working with way back in the past. I also want to thank Reverend Wilson, Congressman Jonathan Jackson. Happy to be here with you and happy to have listened very carefully to what you have said with respect to what's going to go on forward. We have a long, hard, arduous road ahead of us, and we need to really stick together on this one. But I also want to say thank you to my longtime friend, Dr. Ron Daniels, who is so busy doing all kinds of stuff that I can hardly keep up with him. So in a way, he's building me up. He's built me up. But really, he deserves a lot more praise than he has gotten. So I'm happy to be here with him and to be sharing with you and back with the family, with the Rainbow PUSH family. Since my time is short, I will offer a brief overview of the crisis in Haiti today. Today, we call for meaningful action. You've heard Mr. Marc Morial. You heard the chairman of Haiti's Presidential Council appeal to you with respect to one issue that has been made a very prominent issue both in Haiti and abroad. That is the issue of reparations. We asked Mr. Morial, I said, call Biden now before he leaves office. Call him now because we need him to act. We need him to make sure that Haiti has emergency aid so that it responds to the crisis. Dr. Daniels has said, Haiti, we were here a year ago talking about the Haiti crisis, and he has said, well, it's really a little worse than before. We expected better. We, Monique and I and Dr. Daniels, we've been working hard about bringing things together. But things have not worked out the way they should have. So I'm here to tell you what has been going on. First of all, here's what's going on in Haiti today. A criminal syndicate led by an ex-policeman nicknamed Barbecue has laid siege to Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince, for the last 4 years, turning most of it into wasteland. Typically, his syndicate has not offered a political alternative, using scorched earth strategy and tactics, slash and burn. It has increased its effort to stir fear and confusion among the people and denying them the safety of uninterrupted food supply, medical services, police protection, schooling, housing, and productive work opportunities. I'll go through each one of these things. Major hospitals and trauma treatment centers in Port-au-Prince, the capital, have been destroyed or rendered mostly inoperable, inaccessible to the vast majority of the people living in the capital city of Port-au-Prince. So there are essentially little that remain with respect to healthcare and the services and the facilities that can provide it. Schools have closed and are sheltering thousands of people displaced from their home because their homes were set on fire, their homes were destroyed. When these criminal gangs showed up in their neighborhoods, they basically shot anybody that they could find in their way, that could stand in their way, so these people had to leave their home. So they left their home with just their clothes on their back. Most of the homeless and displaced are dependent on charity from the few humanitarian organizations still operating in the country. Millions, I say. Haiti has a population of about 12 million, estimated 12 million. At least half of the population is facing hunger on a daily basis. And I'm sorry, 5 million. So at least 5 million are facing famine. So you heard it from her, 5 million. And 5 million Haitians. Travel to and from Haiti has become extremely expensive when it exists. There are no flights going from the United States to Haiti at this point in time. The FAA has basically said there's a moratorium. There's no American airlines are allowed to fly to Haiti at this stage, and in particular Port-au-Prince. Dominican airspace is closed to flights to and from Haiti. Dominican airspace, Dominican Republic shares the island of Hispaniola with Haiti. Dominican airspace is closed to flights from Haiti. Meanwhile, it should be noted that the Biden administration continues to dump deported Haitians to Cape Haitians. One source told me there might in fact be deportations of Haitians to other countries because they are not able to deport Haitians to Haiti, all of them. So this is something that we need to investigate, sir. We need to find out whether or not this is true. Part of the problem that we're facing here, besides this stuff, is the fact that the coalition that came together, when we were here last year, we were last year in January, and Mr. Voltaire was talking about the kind of issues that they were facing. In March of last year, the Prime Minister at the time, Ariel Henry, finally was ousted from power under pressure. And in the month that followed, in April, there was an agreement that was hashed out between a lot of the political parties so that they could come up with a transitional process, a 2-year transitional process. And this year we're supposed to have elections. So, this year, the idea was that if you could have elections, if you could establish peace and security around the land, that you could have elections and that you could have a conversation nationally about what the agenda for the country would be and whether or not there needs to be constitutional referendums, constitutional changes. So, just like we were ambitious when Africans and descendants of Africans decided they had enough of the oppression of slavery in the colony, we are also very ambitious. Let me note, by the way, that, it has been noted, that our meeting today is being held on the at the time when Haiti is supposed to be celebrating the 221st anniversary as an independent nation. What I wanted you to know also is that it is being held on the eve of the 15th anniversary of the most consequential earthquake that Haiti witnessed in modern times. Hundreds of thousands of people suffered, died because of that earthquake. The economy was hobbled. So we have a lot of challenges, which is why the idea of a Marshall Plan is not such a remote idea. It is present, it is urgent, it is absolutely essential that we come to a situation where both Haitians and their allies in America and elsewhere in the world come together and say, enough is enough. We are going to make sure that the first independent nation forged by Africans and people of African descent in the Western Hemisphere, that this country sees the light and the benefits of its unprecedented fight for freedom. So, going back to the political situation, and Monique will probably speak about that in much more detail than I will speak about it. There is, unfortunately, disputes with respect to the transition. Nobody is very happy with the transition or the Presidential Council as it happens. And lots of people are saying we need a reshuffling. I say we don't need a reshuffling. I think people of goodwill, Democrats of Haiti, need to really sort of sit down, reduce the temperature between them and say, we are going to make sure that people like Barbecue and his people do not win the day. We need to make sure that criminals are not the ones who get to say what Haiti is like. So this is what we're doing here. As I said, we're going to, I'm going to get on the podium later on and then be able to answer questions. But what I wanted to say before I turn it over to Monique here is the following. Haiti needs all the help it can get. At this time last year, Leslie Voltaire was right here in this room discussing the Haiti crisis. Today, he is the chairman of the country's presidential council, charged with solving the Haiti crisis. Whether or not he succeeds, or whether or not the Transitional Council succeeds, I hope you will join me in continuing to insist that Haiti is a beacon that shall not be extinguished. Forward ever, backward never, the struggle continues. It is my pleasure at this time to invite my colleague, a dear friend of mine, with whom we're talking about reparations. Last year, we were together in Geneva leading a large group of Haitians in Geneva, talking about reparations and making sure that Haiti gets on the map. Monique Clesca is a prominent member of the Montana Accord movement, and she's also now the spokesperson for a newly found group, newly established group called the Haitian Community of African Descent. Please welcome, put your hand together and welcome Monique Clesca to the podium. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good morning, Rainbow PUSH. Good morning, Rainbow PUSH. Thank you. Good morning, Rainbow PUSH. Thank you. Thank you. I want to first thank Reverend Jesse Jackson, who is one of my heroes, and I think I mentioned that last year from the time I was growing up in Washington, D.C. and going to Howard University. So yes, so it is a true honor to be even in the same room, let alone so close by. So thank you, Reverend Jesse Jackson. Thank you, Reverend Wilson, Reverend Lewis, and Operations PUSH for this opportunity. Thank you to Congressman Jonathan Jackson for the continued support. Thanks for Ron Daniels for his unwavering support to the Haiti Support Project. And thank you to all of you for being here and for your patience and for listening to me. Now, what has been described in terms of Haiti is a kind of a hell on earth that we're going through right now, and paradise when we, in terms of the freedom fighters. But we're still, right now, having the freedom fighters, and I'm proud to say that I'm one of them, Jocelyn is one of them, and we hope for your continued support in that sense. Now, on this commemoration of Haiti's 221 years of independence, and I'm not talking about 50 years, I'm talking about 221 years of independence, I am in deep pain. Pain because of the conditions on the ground of my country. I think we have all, particularly Jocelyn, has described some of the conditions. Judge Baptiste also has described some of the conditions. We are on our knees in Haiti. We are hostage. Imagine 12 million people hostage to about 3,000 gang members. And also dishonest politicians. We must say it. Yes, we must say it. So, but we are bearing the burden, but we are in resistance mode, like the men and women who fought for our independence. Now, I was asked to speak about the conditions on the ground and the way forward. Now, Jocelyn has talked about the situation. The health system has fallen apart. The educational system has fallen apart. But I think it's important also to mention that there are, just like there is the destruction, there is the freedom fighters, but there are two Haitis. Most of the land, people throughout most of the land, in the north, in the south, in the southeast, in the Grand Est area, it's like the Haiti we knew. Whereas in the general Port-au-Prince area, where one-third of the population lives, as well as in the Artibonite area, leading from Port-au-Prince, then we are truly hostages. I wrote in last February a piece that was published right after I was here in the Washington Post about when the gangs were coming through my area. And that is the case for practically everyone in the metropolitan area of Haiti right now. When the gangs, you wake up, you don't know if they were there last night, if they will be coming today, or if they will be coming in the afternoon. So we are all living that kind of situation, and it is a huge burden. Now, last year, there were about 5,600 people who died from gang violence. And that is not counting the fly-by shootings. And I personally knew 3 people who died in 1 week with lost bullets. That's what they call them, balles perdues, lost bullets. Now, thousands of girls and women, and increasingly men, are being raped, gang rapes, and sometimes in front of their family members, forced to watch. Neighborhoods are under constant assault, and I think that Jocelyn talked about international flights being suspended. I was supposed to go home on a Friday, and that Monday, gangs shot at 3 airplanes, American Airlines, Spirit Airlines, and JetBlue. And so Haiti is now, in a certain sense, closed for business. In terms of economic, negative growth, the economy has not moved forward in the last 5 years. But there is high inflation. And I wanted to mention one point. One of the things that sustains Haiti is money coming from people abroad, particularly via Western Union. But there is so little cash that last year, around the 27th and the 28th of December, there was no money. You could go to the Western Union, but they couldn't give you the money because there is no cash flow in the country. It is that bad. Now, in terms of governance, and perhaps that's where some of us differ in terms of governance, we came together last year and had an agreement, which was called the April 3rd Agreement. Political parties, people we could not, how could I say it? You know, the kind of you hold your nose when you're sitting talking to them, but for the good of the country, we said we must sit with them. We sat with them. We came up with an agreement. They all signed it. We all signed it. They were supposed to publish it and follow it. They did not. And that's where things started going backwards. And I think it's important to say it. We now have a 7-member presidential council. But as soon as they got in power, 3 of them became enmeshed in a corruption scandal. Yes, it's happening here. And I know Chicago, when I was in school, Chicago was like top of the list. But it happens everywhere. But at the presidential level, 3 of them. So we called for them to step down. They did not step down. Others called for them to step down. They did not step down. And that is a huge issue in terms of value, in terms of the example that you're setting for the rest of the country. If you say you want to redo things, we must have clean government. But worst, the others did not push for them to step down. So in a way, it's almost like a conspiracy because they're all in it together. And we need for those 3 to step down. Continuing corruption, what has happened? There is some money that is supposed to be for intelligence. Intelligence is what? To find out what the gang members are doing, who is supporting them, where are the arms, where are the weapons, etc. Some of that money is given to the presidents in cash. We said no. They are still taking the cash money. And it has been now 7 months. Another crisis, the constitutional crisis. We had all agreed in the roadmap that we would have what is called a national conference, where throughout Haiti, people got together to say, this is what we expect from government. This is what we want government to do. This is a social contract we want with government. Education, health, job training, etc. And that was the opportunity for them to say, we want a new constitution, because the constitution says how it must be changed. Rather than that, they put somebody to head some group to tell us, I have a constitution in my back pocket, here is what it is. And so, again, we have a constitutional crisis. How do we go forward? How do we move the country forward? And so we have corruption, we have insecurity, we have economics, we have social, education, health system that has fallen apart, and we have the major one, which is a governance crisis. So yes, we want to sit down together to work it out. Yes, we did last year sit down together and work it out. And then they broke the promise. So how do you trust the ones who broke the promise? How do you move forward? How do you move forward? Now, I am a proud member of the Montana movement, and it is a movement that we talked about last year, and it is a movement that Dr. Ron Daniels talked about also, that is trying, and we have been around for the last 4 years underground, working to re-engineer democracy, to say that democracy, there are values, there has to be justice, there has to be human rights, there has to be respect for the individuals that make up the society. I am proud to be a member of that movement. They are not, you know, we are over 1,000 signatories, but a lot of sympathizers, and we don't need to agree on everything, but we need to agree that Haiti needs to go forward, and there has to be justice, reparations, and there has to be education, health, and everything else. We have called out the racism and injustice of the US government. Ukraine gets the royal treatment. Haiti doesn't get much of anything. And I think it's important to say that. Yes, we can call on Joe Biden, but Ukraine has gotten millions and millions and millions. Haiti was promised 2,500 troops from Kenya and hundreds of millions of dollars, $600 million. We got 420 troops from Kenya. And we got about 200 million. So yes, we should get more of the money. But we don't expect much more come January 20th. But we know also it is up to us Haitians. It is up to us Haitians to do the work. So yes, we have tried to get things together with the others. Yes, we continue to talk to everyone, every political party, but we will not accept to sit down and talk to gangsters who are killing us, who are raping us. And amazingly, this week, political parties have signed with a group of gangsters that are led by barbecue. Their signature is on a document. We will not do this. We do not accept to work with people who kill us and who rape us. We will not do this. Now, Montana has always said that it is up to us. We have said, rather than pay 2,500 troops from Kenya to come, why not invest it in Haiti? Why not invest it in the youth? You have about 64% of the Haitian population that is under 24 years old. Give them job training. Invest in them. Give them intense police training. Army, do that. But no, it was, okay, we bring some troops from Kenya. Well, they haven't come. And we expected that they were not going to come. So again, it is up to us. Whatever monies must come, they must be invested in the Haitian population, in Haitian youth, in health, in education, in training, so that we can increase the police force, we can increase the numbers of people who are in the army, we can get jobs going, and we can move Haiti forward. So yes to a Marshall Plan, whatever it is that it is called. It could be Marshall, it could be whatever. We need to build Haiti from the ground up. And this is why we need your solidarity and your support. We thank you already. We know we have had a lot of solidarity. We know we have had a lot of support. But we need now, more than ever, more so than we have had it in the past. In different ways. Yes, the US government, but even people, you know, the grassroots. There are grassroots organizations, women's organizations, farmers, unions that also need the support. So I wanted to say in my message today that the support and the solidarity should not only be through the US government, it should also be to ordinary people. I see how Rainbow PUSH has been going on since I was at the university. Now I'm a grandmother of 4. So I know it can sustain itself. Grassroots people like you and me who are putting their money where their mouth is. So we need you to carry that message that Haiti needs the support, and we Haitians are standing up for what it is that we believe our country needs to do. We are fighting for freedom. We are fighting for democracy. We are fighting for justice. We are fighting for reparations, otherwise reparatory justice. We are fighting so that France pays us back. The Citibank stole money from us also, so that Citibank pays us back our gold that it stole in 1915. So we are fighting, and we need your support to keep on fighting. We need your solidarity, and I thank you.
Let's say keep hope alive. That's what we're talking about. Sister Monique Clesca, give her another round of applause, another round of applause. All right, we want to move the program forward. We will not be much longer. That solidarity that she talks about is the solidarity that we're trying to build between African Americans and Haitian Americans and people of goodwill among civil society. It's often called on the international stage. We are building that solidarity. That's a part of why we came to Rainbow PUSH. We are working together with the Haitian American Foundation for Democracy and others to build it out. Let me also say, however, we need to push Biden. One of the things that happened was Jocelyn and McCalla, being a researcher, we raised the question, if Ukraine, why not Haiti? Well, they said, oh, well, the aid to Ukraine has already been authorized. He can only do that because it's authorized. Well, Jocelyn and McCalla did the research, and he found out that there's a statute under which aid to Haiti can be done on an emergency basis under these circumstances. he found the statute. It's some 17, 18, something or other and so forth. No, we did this at Center for Constitutional Rights. We often use that. We went back and found those. Now the orange man, Donald Trump is using these ancient statutes to find it. So we can use this. There is a basis for getting it done. Now, we don't know what can happen, but we need to push. Now I'm going to give you this phone number because we need to call today. 202-456-1111. Now, what you will find is they are going to tell you to email a message. They're going to send you to the website. And that website, listen carefully, those in the room and those who are listening throughout the country, is www.whitehousegov. Let me go again. It's www.whitehouse.gov/contact. In other words, that's how you contact President Biden. www.whitehouse.gov/contact. Okay? And just spread the word. We're going to knock the doors down. We're going to let them know we are awake, we are alive, and we're going to push hard for this aid. Now what we want to do is to actually entertain about at least a few questions and answers. I'm going to ask our panelists if they would be kind enough to take the stage, and we will entertain questions that you might have. Assume that there's probably a microphone in the audience. So, Bobby, you want me to play? Where's my leader, Bobby? Okay, so so what we're going to do, I see a question, right? I see two questions on this side. Why don't you just come up? Come up. That's the easiest way to do it, facilitate it. There's another question here. Come.
Yes, excuse me, I'm a little hoarse. Good afternoon. Oh, good morning, I should say. I'm sorry, it's not afternoon yet. My name is Randy. I do a lot, research, and I have a question concerning Haiti. I want to ask, what is the role that the IMF and World Bank play in this, along with the Agency for International Development? Because according to Penny Leno, in her book, People of God, it talked about how the IMF has been strangling Haiti, how they impose economic sanctions as well as the structural adjustment programs. So what does the IMF and the structural adjustment programs have in terms of impact on or adverse impact on Haiti?
So what we're going to do, we're going to take to this end right here, those questions right to the end, and then what we're going to do is get a response. Right here. Yeah, go ahead. Go right ahead.
Thank you. First of all, thank you, Reverend Jesse Jackson and Congressman Jackson and all the members of PUSH for having this forum. Reverend Daniels, Dr. Daniels, I'd like to ask the brothers and sisters from Haiti, what is their ability to be able to keep up on a daily basis with what's going on in Haiti, especially as it relates to the military forces that are operating there? From the very beginning, Jamaica bought into supplying support for Haiti, certainly Kenya, and you talk about Biden and the United States government has made some kind of contributions and discussions about helping, and then El Salvador and some Guatemala and some other countries are involved with providing troops on the ground to actually fight against the gangs and to seize the airport and to seize other territories and open up the schools and open up some hospitals. But what is the Haitians' general feeling about them from a Pan-African perspective or a broader group of people aiding and assisting fighting the gangs in Haiti.
Got the question. Okay, right here.
Thank you. Is it on? Thank you. My name is Sakiya Muhammad, member of Rainbow PUSH. I am one of the Rainbow PUSH members that sponsored 5 Haitians in 1983 when Reverend Jesse Jackson went to Florida and made it pop. Thank you. Thank you. I sponsored 1 young lady in my home, and the 4 brothers I sponsored in my building where they shared apartments. I was like the old lady that lived in the shoe. I could write a book. So I have very serious concerns about my people in Haiti and what happens to people in Haiti. My question is, sister, my Howard University alumnus, when I said HU, I was supposed to hear, you know. But anyway, sister, if they're not, if they don't have any money in the Western unions and they're not accepting no money, if we want to send money, how can we do that? If we're asking Biden to send resources, what exactly are the resources that you want Biden to send? Because any other time, right here at Rainbow PUSH, we would be downstairs, Eunice, you know that, we'd be downstairs getting truckloads of stuff together at the directions of Reverend Jesse Jackson and the Rainbow PUSH family. So I just want to know, in case there's something ordinary concerned people like myself can
How to get humanitarian aid, right.
Yes.
You and I have discussed this, but we certainly will get that question. We have one more question here.
Yes.
Sure. Bonjour. My name is Nicole Claude. I am Chicagoan. Now I live in Chicago for the past 50 years. It's a celebration. What I have found out, what Haiti really need, Haiti and Haitians, I think in the past we usually say Haiti, but it's important that we do include the people. So my project, my program is about Haiti and Haitian. So what I have been, I'm top leading on social media. And what I would like to do is how do I bridge my communities? Social media, which is fairly new to us, but it is part of our life. So what I have found out, what we really need is training. So I have developed the top leading training for the people. What I am in need of is technology. So how do I bring technology in the work that we are all doing so that Haitian and Haiti can be part of it? As a matter of fact, I find that Haitians can make and can produce the best videos in Haiti, and how do we support that? So our main focus also could be on technology. Thank you.
All right, okay, so we had 4 basic questions as I see it. One is the question of what is the attitude and posture of the World Bank and IMF towards Haiti. Somebody may want to take on that question. Secondly, how are the military forces that have been promised being monitored? How are the military forces being monitored? And what is the attitude of the people towards the military forces? As in, yeah, that's the question. And then there's a specific question for from the Howard University grad about how to get humanitarian aid and assistance in. And the final question is building unity within the Haitian American community, particularly as it relates to training around technology and various other aspects. So those are 4 questions, and the panel is free to answer in whatever ways they choose, and after which I will be presenting a closing statement.
Okay. So I'll take the first one and perhaps start us off on the second one before turning it over to Monique. With respect to one thing that we need to understand, Haiti is down. Haiti is way down. It's not out. Okay. It is not out. So, with respect to remittances, for example, remittances from the United States, from France, from Canada, from Latin America, and so forth, continue to be transferred to Haiti. People do use Western Union to pick up monies that are being sent to them. You know, so those things are still working. They're not working different in everywhere, but they're working. So if you notice what I said with respect to where the hurt is the worst, the hurt is the worst in the capital city of Port-au-Prince and in the immediate areas around Port-au-Prince. But as Monique stated, most of the country is not under the thumb of the gangs. You know, so part of the problem is that the political and economic center of Haiti is under attack by the gangs, but the country itself, you know, continues to survive in a reduced fashion. So with respect to humanitarian aid continues to be there, but goes there. We're not talking about sending clothing, shoes, or other materials, because you can't get through. But you can send monies to people, to charities and so forth, which can make good use of it. So that's number one. Number two, with respect to the IMF and the World Bank, under current circumstances, I have not heard of a major programs of the IMF and the World Bank. In fact, the restructuring the economies is something that they've engaged in way back, years ago. And to a certain extent, restructuring the economy of Haiti meant for them to make sure that a lot of the private sector businesses benefited from infusion of funds into Haiti. That is not necessarily what is working, and obviously this is a problem that continues to plague countries that are dependent on financing from abroad. So let me turn it over to Monique for a follow-up.
Thank you. I think it is a myth that there is a military presence in Haiti. There are 420 Kenyan troops, who most of them don't speak Creole, don't speak French, are sitting somewhere saying how good Haitian food is. So it's a myth that there is a kind of military presence that people are going to feel. So they are pretty much in their barracks near the airport. However, there have been some operations that have been carried out by the police where the Kenyans have provided backup. So this idea that there is military presence in Haiti, no. Jamaica came with a few, I don't even think that there were 10 Jamaican officers. Bahamas came with about 20, and then the foreign minister said a few weeks ago, if you feel uncomfortable, we give you the permission to go back. Well, wait a minute, gangs are killing and raping, and they have been doing this for the last 6 years. Of course you're going to feel uncomfortable. So the Bahamians went back. Barbados, that was supposed to send a few hundred, said they're not going to send them because the conditions are not appropriate. There is no strategy on the ground. There is no money on the ground. Why is it that 2,500 Kenyans were supposed to come and only 420 came? There is no money. Kenya was not in it for the love of Haiti. They were in it for the money. So let's be very clear about this. This strategy of bringing others who were supposed to help us has not worked. So we go back to square one. It is up to us. It is up to us. So, having said this, the second part of it is, I think the Howard University sister, There are grassroots organizations that are working in Haiti, and there are sister organizations in the United States that help. One of the huge problems is the level of sexual violence. There is a Haitian Women Collective that is in New York that is working with a lot of the Haitian organizations that are supporting victims of sexual violence. There is an organization called Haiti Demain, which is Haiti Tomorrow, that filters through the money through Focal, which then gives the money through grassroots organizations, farmers groups, women-led organizations that are underground to work. So there are various ways of supporting. And I can talk to you afterwards and we can exchange so that we can expand a kind of network of support. But there are grassroots organizations that are working. Now, one of the links to that, I think, is how do Haitians survive? How do the other 12 million survive? As we've always done, helping each other, neighbors helping neighbors, community helping community, growing the food in the garden, helping the other, taking your boat in different areas, from Pistel, then to other islands in the area with the fish. So that is how we have done it. Neighbors helping neighbors, and that's how it is. And I kind of laughed a little bit when the gentleman asked the question about the World Bank and the IMF, mostly irrelevant in the situation right now. Whatever advice they are giving, the economy has been going backwards for the last 5 or 6 years. So what is the use of having all these economists providing advice if you can't help us move things forward? I don't know.
Judge?
There's a sister by the name of Ghislaine Joseph who is really on the cutting edge of the fight on immigration. She is the one who brought that lawsuit, Congressman Jackson, against President-elect Trump and Vice President Vance, alleging, really broad libel of a whole community in Springfield. She has said that Haiti is not just a territory, it's an ideology. I'm going to repeat that. Haiti is not just a territory, people. It's an ideology. You chased out your enemy. And at the time that Haiti chased out the enemy, the leadership was clear as to who the friends were and who the enemies were. They made it clear that you have no role to play in this nation because you've been about destruction, exploitation, murder, rape, and mayhem. Now, as we move forward, it took 60 years for the United States to recognize Haiti. It organized an embargo to try to choke you out of existence. And later on, it organized and occupied your land from 1915 to 1934. Subsequently, it supported government like Papa Doc and the rest of them to suppress you. And after that, when it's time for, when folks were being exploited and they were trying to get to the United States for relief, they allowed the Cubans, they allowed everybody else in. They put us in jails and chrome detention centers. So Haiti is an ideology. They built the biggest embassy in the Western Hemisphere in Haiti to suppress you. So IMF, World Bank are under the leadership and guidance of the United States. It's about suppression. It's about creating illusion as if they're helping you out. So it's a fight back, and I think as Sister Clesca said, it's about self-determination. Haitians have to do it for themselves. We have to fight to build without the main content of what I just talked about. I agree 100% with what my colleagues have said. But we got to shift the paradigm. When Bookman say, stop adoring the gods of your enemies and following them, do for yourself. Make a way out of no way. That's been the history of African Americans, of Africans in the diaspora, and now Africans on the continent. That's their fight right now, making a way out of no way. Because we have the resources there, we have the alliances, we need to overcome a lot of these difficulties. Now, monies to Haiti, please continue to send. My family just sent some money to families in Port-au-Prince and La Vallée. And yes, when they went to pick up, Western Union had run out of money, but the next day, 2 days later, they were able to get money. So let's not, she's describing the crisis. That doesn't mean that people are not getting along and people are not getting the support. Please, we send $4 billion a year back home, more than all of the helpers, United States and others. So please continue to send the support, one way or another. Training, if you have some relationship with some folks and you're doing some direct training, go ahead and do that. But it's not a declaration. It is a direct engagement in what you need to do. Finally, let me just say this. The sister talked about the key link is good governance. Good governance. Haiti has gone backwards because we keep eating up our governance. We keep going after each other as if we all are more perfect than the next person. We have to build governance, maintain consistency, and have some patience, some grace with one another. Amen. Okay? Jamaica has been doing what Jamaica does. Trinidad and Tobago. Countries, for you to survive, you have to have governance. If every time you turn around, you want to assassinate your president, you want to get rid of your government, and you want to start over, it's not going to happen. What I'm suggesting is build new alliances, because the alliance with the Western world has worked to a certain extent, but not to the extent that you want. Okay, that doesn't mean you throw away existing allies, but build additional alliances. Look for tactics. Governance is key. So, brothers and sisters, we're going to win this because we're going to keep fighting until we get that victory.
Monique.
Thank you. I wanted to add one point linked to what Juge Jean-Baptiste said about the Haiti's and ideology. Don't forget that Haitians sent soldiers to fight the Battle of Savannah.
That's right.
When Simon Bolivar, wanted to liberate South America, he went to Haiti. And President Pétion, gave him arms, munition, and men. And he went on to liberate Venezuela, Colombia, Peru, and Bolivia. So, in terms of an ideology, there is that solidarity also as part of that ideology, helping others gain freedom, helping others fight for justice and for human rights. So when we Haitians are saying we are freedom fighters and we are asking for your solidarity and your support, it is in that same spirit. We're going to do this and we will do it. It's going to take a long time, but we are going to do it and we're going to get it right.
And don't forget Gabriel Prosser in the United States, Denmark VC, Nat Turner, and others who organized insurrections in the United States were inspired by the Haitian Revolution. So let's go. And let me just say one more thing, Dr. Daniels. We talk about how the Kenyans and others who are coming may not be as focused about liberating ourselves from the gangs. The problem is with this 2,500 versus the 400 is that there was a promise for an allocation of enough resources to support these troops. Because if you have supposed to allocate enough money for 2,500, but you send enough for 400, then you got to shelter them, you got to feed them, you got to do a number of different things. So the United States has not allocated our tax dollars to do that which they promised to have done. So that's where the main issue is. Whether our brothers and sisters on the continent, through their Pan-Africanism, are committed to do, there's a practical reality that we have not gotten that kind of money, and that's why Dr. Daniels is saying, send the money now.
That's right, a good segue.
Thank you so much.
All right, let me say first and foremost, thank you to the Rainbow Push Coalition for hosting Haitian Independence Day. And thank all of you who had the patience and the sense of perseverance to stay. Others had reasons for leaving. I thank you so much. And I watched as people were listening and learning and taking down the numbers and all those good things. That's a good sign in terms of the solidarity that we must build. So let me go again with our demand. There's a few days left in the Biden administration. So Biden can still, and the message is very simple. Biden, send emergency aid to Haiti. Biden, send emergency aid to Haiti. The phone number is 202-456-1111. The website that you will be directed to is www.whitehouse.gov/contact. All right, yeah, I'm seeing people have been taking it down. That's good. Now, let me just conclude with a few observations as a veteran working on these issues around Haiti since 1995. Because I really, really, really not only sentimentally love Haiti, for all the reasons that have been articulated. The United States government, this nation, and Jonathan, Congressman Jackson and Reverend Jackson, you have said this over and over again. This is not charity. This is not charity. The United States owes Haiti. There's a debt that is owed to Haiti. The Louisiana Purchase, all the things that have been talked about. So this is not charity. If this country were a charitable nation in the best spirit of love, it would open up the till and just surround Haiti immediately with all the resources necessary. Now, that happens not to be the case. So I want to speak to our virtual audience as well as you, and also to our sisters and brothers on the ground in Haiti. I believe in the Montana Accord plan, process, and blueprint as a pathway to a genuinely people-based democracy. And I use those words intentionally. What we need in Haiti is a people-based democracy. And the Montana Accord, all of those hundreds of organizations that signed off on that. Hundreds, not 5 or 6, hundreds of organizations signed off on that. Now, that really constitutes, essentially, Judge, a progressive force. Now, there may be some debates and so forth within there, but that is essentially the progressive force. That progressive force is lined up against retrograde, reactionary forces. Because we are skin folks don't mean we are kin folks. Not all Haitians are down with the proposition. There's some who want to continue business as usual, the corrupt misgovernment, so they can line their own pockets and all. That's not the majority. That is not the spirit of the masses of the Haitian people. So the Montana to the U.S. government, successive administration, the plan, however you call it, take Montana out. The elements of getting the word for what the next government should be from the people, hearing them, town hall meetings, national conference, laying out a sense of what the pathway should be. That is people-based democracy. That's a good process. And that's why I support it, because we could use a good dose of this right here in the United States of America, to be honest about it. People-based democracy. The kind of democracy that Martin Luther King talked about when he talked about a revolution of values. Based on values, based on principles, if you will. So that's number one. The second thing I want to say is an appeal the perfect must not be the enemy of the good. To my sisters and brothers in the Montana Accord movement and the progressive forces, we got to work it out. As Reverend Jackson would often say, we need to turn to each other and not on each other. Because there's a way in which sometimes we cannibalize, we internally eat ourselves. There is a way out. So we have to close the door and meet with each other and hash it out until we come up with a consensus. It may not be perfect. I may not have every element that I want in there, but as long as it is adequate and useful and we can all agree, please circle the wagons around that, because you can be sure that the people who are opposed to it, they are deadly serious on wanting to destroy any semblance of a people-based democracy, because it means that they cannot conduct business as usual as the continuing rape and pillage of the Haitian people while they live up on the hill. Like the OJ said, the people up on the hill look down on the ghetto, and they're going to make profit after profit after profit. Now let me also say to the elite, because some of them are tuned in too. You know, some of them people high on the hill, they listening. The point is that a peaceful, prosperous Haiti is the best for everybody. Everybody can prosper if there is a peaceful, people-based democracy. And here's the deal. You won't have to have your little armed militias, your little guards, and your little, you know what I mean? You won't have to be scared. You can make some, some reasonable amount of resources in a peaceful and prosperous Haiti. So you should get on board with supporting the process and the plan. And as I conclude, we also need to say to CARICOM, we appreciate CARICOM. CARICOM, by the way, is like the European Union. It is the Caribbean nations have formed their own unity operation. All 15 of them belong. The current president is the brilliant, able, capable, maybe the next Secretary General of the United Nations, Maya Amor Motley. That is a bad sister from Barbados. She's very sharp. We appreciate you, CARICOM, for what you've done in helping to broker and to work with the Haitian people in terms of moving things forward. But we also need you to listen a little bit more carefully to what is being articulated by the progressive forces. In other words, take your cues from them. The idea of trying to mesh, and that was one of the key mistakes, trying to mesh the progressive forces with all of these corrupt people. We knew from the beginning it was going to be challenges because we know who the corrupt people are. I know some of them. I've been working in Haiti in 1990. I can point to them. Corrupt, bankrupt, have no intention of doing anything except lining their own pockets and want power for power's sake. That's not what we're talking about. So CARICOM, please listen to those leaders associated with the Montana Accord and the allied progressive forces as we move forward. And finally, to my sisters and brothers in Haiti, rest assured that we have your back. Rest assured that Congressman Gregory Meeks, who is the ranking member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, he's on it, isn't he, Congressman Jackson? He's on it. We consult all the time. We're talking all together all the time. We have your back. Letting our sisters and brothers in Haiti know on the ground. You heard from Marc Morial and the civil rights legacy organizations. We have your back. They're saying we believe in Haiti because we understand. Another part of the story is there was an invasion in 1915. It ended in 1934. One of the organizations that was right on the case was the NAACP, all the way, Walter White and all, because they understood that if Haiti is free, when we were fighting for our freedom here, Haiti was an example that we could be free, in Africa, that we could be free. So we all have a vested stake in that. We also know that the Congressional Black Caucus has your back. Yvette Clarke has just been, a sister of the Caribbean, has just been elected the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus. And of course, you've already heard that our dear beloved sister McCormick is on the case. Ayanna Presley, that bad sister from up in Boston, she's on the case. So the Congressional Black Caucus, our legacy organization, they all have your back. It will not be an easy struggle. It may be a difficult struggle. But it is one, as the judge has said, that we must take on our own. I have to quote the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, and by the way, we need to be fighting for his exoneration. Now, I did see a program today, he needs to be exonerated along with Jesse Jackson Jr. and others. But Marcus Garvey said something as I close that we all need to hear. Because Marcus Garvey said, "Up, you mighty race, accomplish what you will." And very often that will part gets passed by. What he means is that if we can conceive it, we can achieve it. That there's a way in which, as you're saying, Judge, and all of us, that if we have the will, then we can achieve it. And Reverend Jesse Jackson, for over and over again, for all those many years, came out of nowhere, South Carolina, coming up out of the civil rights movement, audaciously and boldly telling us that we are somebody. Audaciously and boldly stepping out on the stage of history to take a broken people in the same way that Garvey did, giving us a sense of purpose and possibilities. And that same sense of purpose and possibilities is needed right now. Because when Haiti is free, all 12 million of Haitians are free. A black nation, not in terms of its color, but the composition of its values, which is the essence of what blackness really means, will be one of the most powerful, influential nations on the face of the earth. And that which the founding fathers and mothers and sisters who believed in 1792 and on into 1804 will have been fulfilled. Because they will have done what the Reverend Jesse Jackson has said over and over again. That is, keep hope alive. 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 Keep hope alive.
Give Dr. Ron Daniels and this powerful panel a round of applause. We thank all of you for joining us today. We have a powerful meeting next week. Some of you came in late. You didn't have an opportunity to give. I know you want to give. You can do that as you leave out of the door stand. Everyone stand that can. We're not going to keep you all day. We're going to leave now. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. And may you be gracious and give what we asked you to do. Call the president today. We want aid for Haiti in the same way that you gave it to Ukraine and to Gaza. Now we ask that you will give us traveling mercies as we leave this place and go to our individual and several destinations. All hearts are clear? Amen. Let everyone say amen.
Amen. Reverend Wilson, if I